economy. I'm here is to be a MC of this event, okay? So today it's a 9 a.m. in Indonesian time. It's in WIB, and it's a 9 a.m. according to Chinese time, I think. So this event, what it's about? So it's the event. It's from the Al-Ihya Islamic University, or in Indonesia we call it as a Universitas of Al-Ihya UNISA Kuningan, and the Research and Community Service Institution, or Indonesian language we call Lembaga Penelitian dan Pengabdian kepada Masyarakat, disingkat sebagai LPPM-UNISA. It proudly presents the third international webinar. Can you give an applause to this event? Yeah, the topic is about how to build an international research collaboration and get published in high impact journals. Okay. So we will give some presenting for the keynote speakers today. So the first one is Rector of UNISA for His Excellency Bapak Nurul Iman Hima Amrullah, gelar S.Ag, M.Si. Dan dengan guest speakers, with our guest speakers, for first is Dr. Sher Zaman. He becomes a senior lecturer at Gomal University in Pakistan. And then the second one is Dr. Nazim Smanova, becomes a senior analyst at Information-Analytical Center in IAC in Kazakhstan. And our moderator and additional speakers is Dr. Sumarliah, and lecturer at Al-Ihya Islamic University, Indonesia. So the topic of this webinar is very important and useful for university teachers and students to understand more practically about how to make a high quality paper to get published in high impact international journals, such as the journals indexed by the Social Science and Citations Index, Compendex or Engineering Index, and at least by Scopus. So, the topik webinar hari ini tuh sangat penting dan bermanfaat ya untuk kita semua, terutama untuk para dosen dan mahasiswa untuk universitas, untuk lebih memahami bagaimana cara kerja praktis tentang membuat makalah berkualitas untuk diterbitkan di jurnal internasional yang akan sangat berdampak tinggi seperti jurnal yang diindeks oleh Social Science Citation Index, Compendex, atau Engineering Index, dan setidaknya oleh Scopus ya. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, because our time is limited, let me give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker. So first of all is a Rector of UNISA, Bapak Nurul Iman Hima Amrullah. Okay, so Pak, bisa dimulai? Please give your speech. Bisa dimulai dengan kata-katanya. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you, Meity.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody in the world. Yeah. First, praise be to Allah. Let us thanks to Allah now for the abundance of His grace that we all meet in this morning in this webinar. Salawat and salam may be bestowed upon to great Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, role model for all of us as a Muslim. Thank you to Miss Meity, thank you to Miss Ellie and the team who already had an extraordinary idea to create an international webinar series. Maybe this is not a first time. Last time we create the other topic about everything in the academic world. Everybody, thanks to all the presenter and speaker today. On behalf of the Al-Ihya Islamic University, would like to thanks very much today to Mr. Sher Zaman as a speaker, and Miss from Pakistan, right, Mr. Zaman? And Miss Nazim from Kazakhstan, already present here. And additional speaker, Dr. Ellie, who took all of you took the time, share spend the time, the holiday time, to share your knowledge here in webinar. I introduce myself. My name Nurul Iman, call name Iman, just Iman, from UNISA University Islamic Al-Ihya Islamic University. We call UNISA, UNISA in the small word. UNISA is a small university in the small town of Kuningan, part of West Java in Indonesia. Maybe we have 14 major in 4 faculty. This is the lecturer and the student. I hope more of them come here in this webinar, in Zoom or in YouTube. We live now in YouTube. I hope that this activity will not be the last, but can continue with ongoing collaboration in order to improve our writing skill, our collaboration skill, especially for our lecture in Al-Ihya Islamic University, because we have more junior lecturer that need the guide how to improve our skill, especially in writing and publishing. I hope that today, in this opening, we hope all of us will increase our knowledge about writing and collaboration. Maybe in the next time we can meet in offline forum, we can collaborate in interpersonal communication. Yes, that was my opening speech. Maybe Miss Meity, I hope that our skill in writing, ability to collaborate internationally, and ability to enter our reputable journal in international or national, we can get it soon, and all of us have ability and have improved day to day our skill. Maybe that is a short speech for me. Good luck to all of you. Keep up the spirit. I hope everyone achieve success in the future. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam. So thank you, Bapak Rector, for your wonderful speech, which motivates us to publish papers in international journals. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now let me give a welcome to our first speakers from Pakistan. It's Dr. Sher Zaman Khan as a senior lecturer at Gomal University, Pakistan. So let me read his CV first. So Sher Zaman Khan, it's a strategic entrepreneurship. He becomes a chairman of Department of Commerce in Institute of Business Administration in Gomal University. And the objective is to serve the society by contributing every effort in uplifting the morale of the people at the planet by utilizing the potential skills and capabilities built during the long process of learning and experience. And his academic records, he becomes a PhD in 2019, he took the PhD in University of Science and Technology, Beijing in China. And his work experience becomes a worker in a lot of different fields. There are 6 fields that he has worked. So first of all, he works as a chairman Department of Commerce in Institute of the Business Administration at the Gomal University from February 10, 2022. And there are a lot of experience too. And the last one, he also became an assistant professor at Department of Commerce Institute of Business Administration at the July 2020. Till date, okay? And his research interest is about sustainability, poverty reductions, green financing, small and medium enterprises, new venture creation and survival entrepreneurship, technopreneurship, women entrepreneurships and student entrepreneurships, digital entrepreneurships, strategic management, corporate social responsibility, strategic communication, green HRM, digital marketing, business model innovations, intellectual capital management, green supply chain management, and the last one is a GAZEN, technology and aging populations. And for his research achievements and awards, he has get 4 achievements and awards in his life. For publications, he has made 20 publications according to his careers in his life. And for the presentations and publications in international conferences, there are 3 parts. So Sher Zaman Kam, Najib Ullah Khan has published the paper for the impact of intellectual capital management on sustainable competitive advantage via business model and innovations. And the second one is Shahid Mahmud Changjian. The title is The Impact of Entrepreneur Leaderships on Employees' Innovative Behavior, Mediating Role of the Psychological Empowerment. And also, the last one is Trust and Online Communications in Global Product Development Project. So that's about Dr. Shamanskar. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Sher Zaman Khan. Please give your speech to this event. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, Dr. Khan, I cannot hear your voice. Maybe can you fix something on your computer? Thank you.
Am I audible at this time, please? Are you listening me?
Yes.
Yes.
Now we can hear it clearly.
It's okay. Okay, let me repeat my words. The Honorable Rector, Al-Ihya Islamic University, Indonesia, Professor Nurul Iman, Dr. Sumarliah Moli, Lecturer, Al-Ihya Islamic University, Indonesia, and Dr. Nazim Samano, Senior Analyst at Information-Analytical Center, Kazakshtan. And all the participants of this international webinar, good morning and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Dr. Khan.
Yeah, let me introduce myself, please. I am Dr. Sher Zaman Khan from Pakistan, and I have been serving as a senior lecturer at the Department of Commerce Institute of Business Administration, Gomal University, Beihang, Pakistan, since February 2007. During this period, when I joined my Gomal University as a lecturer, at that very time, I was having a simple 16-year education that is called Master of Commerce. And during this period, I improved my qualification from simple master to MPhil, Master of Philosophy in Business Administration. And later on, from 2015 to 2019, I obtained a degree of PhD from University of Science and Technology, Beijing, China. So currently, I'm feeling very glad that I got an opportunity to blab my lips on a very hard issue, that is how to build an international collaboration, research collaboration, and how to get published in high impact factor journals. So I'm lucky enough to be here with you people, and I need your permission if I can start my lecture on this interesting topic. Actually, international collaboration is the need of the day. Currently, there can be no university in the world There can be no college in the world, or there can be no even industry in the world who can survive or who can compete in the market by having sole operation or sole identity. Each and every person and each and every college or university or research group needs collaboration at national and international level. But currently, am I audible, please?
Yes, Dr. Khan, we can hear you. Can you share your PPT? Do you have PPT right now?
Let me share it with you, please.
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
thank you.
Is it okay?
Yes.
So, international research collaboration has become a dire need of the day. It doesn't matter whether a researcher is living in a developed or developing country, he is living in a very high-ranked university or in a low-ranked university, or he is working in an individual capacity or in a group. It doesn't matter. It has become a need of every researcher. It has become a need of every research group and college and university. So that's why we can't deny the importance of international research collaboration. Because international research collaboration provides a platform for gathering diversified mindset, global intellectual capital. A man is not enough to perform each and every part of research. Research is a multi aspect activity function. So therefore, it needs diversified mindset. And in case of international research collaboration, diversified mindset can be developed by having researchers from different localities, from different countries, from different backgrounds. Therefore, it's just a need of the day. Similarly, by building a research collaboration, international collaboration, you can avail the services of the state-of-the-art labs. If one university is a newly established one, while other one is a old and established university, so by sharing their research labs, by sharing their computer labs, by sharing their, for example, other things, they can avail the services of the state-of-the-art labs by having international research collaborations. Similarly, at this time, research needs higher costs, and it's not possible for a single researcher to face all the costs of research, means the data collection, means the experimentations, means the purchase of acquisition of research chemicals, etc., research equipments, research utensils, etc. So by building a research collaboration, international collaboration, the cost is shared by different researchers. Means someone will contribute in funding, while other one will contribute in intellectual capital, while third one will perform the actual practices. Similarly, some of the time, some of the materials, few of the materials are not easily available in one country. So if there is an international research collaboration, they can perform some of the part of a research in that very country where the raw material, where the materials or where the equipments are easily available. So therefore, I can call it a need of the day that for sharing the cost of the research, international research collaboration can contribute a lot. Similarly, social development. If there is no concept of international research collaboration, there will be least social development, particularly in the people of different localities, in the people of different countries. For example, I am here from Pakistan, someone is there from China, while other ones are from Kazakhstan, and the host group of researchers belong to Indonesia. So by doing this type of jobs, we can build social development. We can improve our social relationship and development. And this is possible that very soon or later, we can have personal visits to these research labs and these universities physically. Similarly, by having a international research collaboration, we can transfer the technology from one place to another, from one country to another. For example, I have different research softwares, for example, SPSS, MOS, Smart PLS, Adenco, and so on. And my other colleagues will have some things. Currently I'm talking about social sciences research. If we can share these things, why not the natural sciences or the physical sciences researchers can share so many technological, they can do technological transfer with one another, and they can facilitate the research group who is working in another country, while we can do the same in the field of social sciences, etc. Similarly, by building international research collaboration, we can strengthen the academia-industry linkages. For example, here I am working as a manager university-industry linkages. And I have signed MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, with different industries. They are providing us enough support for conducting research in the field of social sciences, in the field of natural sciences, in the field of physical sciences, medical sciences, etc. So if we build an international research collaboration, there can be international academia industry linkages. We can be connected with multiple industries, international, multinational industries, multinational universities, and so on. Similarly, by having an international research collaboration, the validity and authenticity of research output is ensured. Because if a group of researchers is belonging to a specific area, and they are doing something like they are conducting a research on some specific issue, their results or their findings will not be easily generalized around the world, in different countries of the world. But if the researchers are belonging to different localities, different countries, different backgrounds, means one of them is belonging to management science, while other one is belonging to economics, and third one is belonging to finance, and other one is belonging to, suppose, computer science, information technology, etc. So when they will do their job together, their results will be more valid and more authenticated, because they have checked and they have worked on all aspects, and they have checked your reliability and validity from different angles. Similarly, in the field of sciences, if suppose research is conducted on production of medicine by pharmacy students and teachers, if they are doing some job jointly, and they are conducting the same experiments in different countries, and at the end they are summarizing the results of different countries' research, they will get very valid and authentic results, and there will be least chances of misuse or side effect of that very medicine if it has already been produced by a giant venture, a giant research, international research. Similarly, if we can think about it, that at this time there is the least cost of digital communication. Once there was a biggest issue in international collaboration, that was the communication barrier. But now, because of the digital communication, the costs and the distances, the special distances are minimized up to the least category or least level, and one can say that there is no issue of communication at all. One can contact a researcher who is sitting in Indonesia, while other one is sitting in USA, the third one will be sitting in Russia or Kazakhstan or everywhere else. It can communicate it through online calls, through video calls, through sharing the videos, audios and drafts, and even we can sometimes conduct some part of the lab work by having video call and by having video conferences, etc. So if we may avail this opportunity and facility, that because of the existence of safest digital communication, we might develop international research collaboration. By having an international research collaboration, we can exchange the talent and, for example, a colleague of mine who is sitting in Indonesia, and I am sure that she has visited many countries.
Karena mau beli itu teh 975 beda 25.000 lumayan.
Iman.
She has a vast exposure and experience, so she can share the experiences of those countries, of those labs, of those environments with me while I am sitting in my country and in my university. So by having international research collaboration, we can exchange the talent and the exposure with one another, and particularly if we may focus those students and researchers who are bit newer in the field or who are having least exposure and experience in the field of research, and particularly in the international research, we can facilitate them and we can strengthen them by providing them support. And so mutual problem solutions, currently there are global problems. Majority of the problems are global issues, or can be named as global problems, global issues. So by having international research collaboration, we can solve those issues. For example, COVID-19 was a global issue. It disturbed around all the segments of the world. But if we have an international research collaboration, we can face or we can cope up with such like problems by contributing from different segments of the world. For example, the biggest issue was arise from China, and later on it was prevailed around the globe. But by having international research collaboration, the researchers have coped up with this global problem, and they have alhamdulillah, now they have almost eliminated this problem from its root. Similarly, global creativity and innovation, if we have an international research collaboration, we can improve the global creativity and innovation, because currently creativity and innovation are the crux of industrialization. These are the crux of digital entrepreneurships. These are the crux of problem solution. If there is a single mind, it can solve the problem, or it can show its creativity at a minimum level. But if there are two or more than two mindsets, there will be greater chances to bring creativity in existing operations of the organizations. And similarly, by having international research collaboration, a highest level of creativity and innovation can be brought in the operation of organizations, in operation of universities, in operation of research labs, and so on. Similarly, by having international research collaboration, mutual funds can be created, can be developed. As I talked earlier, that there are differences in the world, and this is the decision of Almighty Allah, that someone is rich while other one will be poor, some will be richest while other one will be richer, and some of the universities are stable, financially stable, while others are younger, while some of the universities are located in industrial zones, while others are located in far-flung areas. So by having international research collaboration, mutual funds can be generated, through the help of which the researchers can be facilitated, can be sponsored for conducting their true research, for their real and deeper research, for finding the solutions to the global issues. By having international research collaboration, global entrepreneurship can be developed. Means there are team members, research team members, and they are having, for example, good relationship. They sometimes find some golden opportunities for initiating, for starting their businesses, for starting entrepreneurships. So by having good relations, they can build national and international entrepreneurships. And as we know that entrepreneurship is the key driver of economy for every country, either it's a developed, developing, or underdeveloped country. It doesn't matter, but it boosts the economy of each and every company, and no country can deny its importance. So if we may read about the little bit current position of the international research collaborations, okay, in the earlier 1970, only 2% researchers were, only 2% articles can be found, which were wrote by, if I can please, yeah. As you know that international collaboration enables the sharing of knowledge, skills, techniques, different views, cross-fertilization of ideas and intellectual companionship. It helps to expand networks of contacts and enhance the visibility of research work. International research collaboration. Mudassir Barlar. International research collaboration tends to increase research productivity in general. Multiple institutions similarly, we know that international research collaboration is a growing social phenomena. It results in part as a strategy to deal with increasingly complex problems and rising costs of research. It also responds to government policies oriented in favor of globalization. While on the other hand, if we see that in decrease in communication costs, and the increased mobility of scientists and students across the borders, international research collaboration has become the hottest phenomena for each and every university and each and every college researcher. As far as if we talk about the barriers of international research collaboration, yeah, of course there are, but luckily one can cope with these challenges because these barriers or these challenges are not constant and natural. These can be handled by using optimization and simulation. For example, if there is a time issue, if there is a time difference between Indonesia and Pakistan, it doesn't matter. We can, by having international research collaboration, we can have video links, we can share videos, audios, or we can suppose sometime manage our time accordingly. Similarly, if there is an issue of mobility, there is no need for frequent mobility, for frequent visits to one another, to see the labs of one country and another. This can be happened by having video calls. This can be happened by having videos and so on. Similarly, a video conferencing calls can be conducted, and through the help of video conferencing calls, we can I'm sorry, it's not removable. Why? What happened to it? So if we have international research collaboration, we can get an opportunity to publish our results in highly reputed journals, reputed books, and if I may talk about publication is the need of universities, the teaching managers, because the university's ranking mainly depends upon the publication. Researcher promotion and career development usually depends upon, is closely connected with publication. And similarly, the practicing managers and entrepreneurs are keenly studying the research papers of different well-reputed journals, and they are trying to get the solution to their problems by having by reading those papers, and they are trying to get the findings of those papers, which are published by researchers from different backgrounds. So for publishing a paper in a high impact factor journal, we should keep in mind some of the key factors. For example, the authenticity of the journal. Either this journal is indexed in well-reputed indexes indexes or not. Means if it is indexed by SSCI, SCI, SCIE, ESCI, EI, Scopus, Web of Science, etc. I call these words a bit quickly. SCI, Science Citation Index. This is a database which is run by Web of Science Clarivate Analytics. And usually the science-related papers are published in Science Citation Index journals. Similarly, Science Citation Index expanded. This is also the sister database of SCI. And in the field of social sciences, we might see that either the journal is indexed in SSCI or not. SSCI means Social Science Citation Index, and for going into SCI or SSCI, a journal needs to be entered into ESCI, Emerging Source Citation Index. All these are the databases which are run by Clarivate Analytic and Web of Science. We can search all these journals in the Web of Science website or Web of Knowledge. Particularly the names which I mentioned, SSCI, SCI, and SCIE. These journals can be found in JCR. And on the other side, we can find these journals in Web of Science core collection. While another group, that is ESCI, Emerging Source Citation Index, that can be found in master list of Web of Science. Each and every international journal of high repute journal that is going into ESCI for the first time, and while living in ESCI group for a few years, someone is getting its highest position very soon in 2 or 3 years, while other journals are living in ESCI for several times, for a few years. If its reliability, validity, consistency, sustainability, morality remains of high level, it is entered into SSCI or SCI or SCIE. So this is also one of the good group of publication journals, ESCI. The rest of the journals, for example, EI is also a good indexing parameter. Or if we sometimes check a journal in Scopus, this is also a good parameter. But no, we might try to avoid to publish our paper in the journals which are not listed in these few prominent groups, or which are not indexed in these groups databases. So what should be in our research papers? Our research papers should have some essential attributes, some essential qualities. For example, what's the problem? What we have targeted? Either the is highly typical issue. Similarly, when we are targeting a problem, we are targeting an issue, we usually see that what other people say about it, what other people have given preference, given focus to this problem. For example, COVID-19 is a hot issue at this time. So if COVID-19 is one of the hard issue at this time, so we might divert our research toward this issue. For example, what's the impact of COVID-19 on business development? What's the COVID-19 effect of impact of COVID-19 on educational industry?
Oke, maaf semua sepertinya Dokter Syeknya ada gangguan. Apa Kak Eli apa mau ditunggu atau seperti apa? Oke, langsung kita lanjut ke Dr. Nazim aja ya. Oke, so karena berhubung Dokter Syeknya ada gangguan, mohon maaf, langsung kita lanjut ke pembicara kedua ya semua. Oke, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for Dr. Syek. And now let's please give a speech for Dr. Nazim. So before I give the opportunity to Dr. Nazim, let me read her CV first, okay? So first of all, Smanova Nazim Kaldi Baigsi is her full name. And she is from Kazakhstan. And for education, she takes a PhD in 2016 to 2021 in the School of Humanities and Social Sciences in the University of Science and Technology, Beijing in China. And she's also took some courses before, like a master's and a Chinese training in some universities. But for work experience, now she has becomes a senior analyst from the 2021 in January until now in the Department of International Comparative Studies, GSC Information-Analytical Centers of Ministry of Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Wow. Okay. For the conferences and projects, there are some projects and conferences that she had attended before. So the last one is in August 2022, she attended for the European Conference on Education Research, ECER, Yerevan. And in 2022, in the February until April, she takes analytics schools initiated by the Club of Young Experts as the Senate of the Republic of the Kazakhstan's Astana. For the publications, she has made more than 5, it's around 7 publications, and the certificates, she took a lot of certificates. In 2021, she becomes a prize winner of the USTB Top 3 Outstanding International Graduate Student in the University of Science and Technology, Beijing. And she also had some other 6 certificates. For the languages, she can speak 4 languages. So for the Kazakhs, because her mother language, and the second one is Russian. The third one, she becomes an expert also in English because she got an IELTS for the 7 band scores. And the last one, she also has fluent in Chinese for the S.Ag level 6. The test score is 256. And the last one, she also has a computer proficiency in Microsoft Office, SPSS statistics, and the last one is a Power BI. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Nazim. You can give your speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you for introduction. Good morning to all. Can I hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
It's here.
Thank you for launching this event and inviting me as a speaker. I'm so glad to see all participants today. And yes, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nazim. I am senior analytic at Information-Analytical Center. Our center is responsible for conducting international large-scale assessments such as PISA, TIMSS, PEARLS, ICILS, and so on. I have graduated from University of Science and Technology in Beijing. My study language of instruction of my study program was Chinese. That's why most of my articles was published in Chinese language. That's why I would like to introduce you about Chinese publication system. Let me share my screen first. First of all, I would like to make a short introduction on the international publication system. Citation indexes are now become an important tool for evaluating research level of institutions, individual researchers, or the whole country. And the biggest 3 citation indexes are Web of Science, Scopus, and Google Scholar. And here is about Web of Science database. This is a web platform that hosts different citation indexes and database. And the most important of this database are what we call core collection. Traditionally, the core collection includes Science Citation Index, Social Science Citation Index, and Citation Index, and Art and Humanities Citation Index. And all of them covers over 12,000 high impact journals worldwide. In 2015, Web of Science also added additional emergence source citation index. These journals meet minimum standard of editorial quality, timelines, and impact. And Web of Science database also expanded to the conference papers and books by creating book citation index and conference proceeding citation index. And also there are specialized databases available on Web of Science. As for example, biases citation index, biological abstracts, covers life science journals. Global health citation index includes information on health, public health. And for example, PSTA provides information on food sciences, food technology for professional who works in the food sector. And China is among countries where career prospect depends on impact depends on the publications, on the journals in which they publish. All Chinese researchers are encouraged to publish their the best work in the domestic journals with international influence, or top international journals and top domestic and international conference proceedings. Since Science Citation Index was developed by Institute for Scientific Information, many countries, especially those where English is not their native language, such as China, proposed citation indexes of their own. And in 2016, China's President Xi Jinping proposed to publish the best work in motherland to benefit to local society. And since that, more and more papers are being published in Chinese domestic journals to promote evaluation of the research level of Chinese researchers and academics. At present, there are two main citation index systems in China: Chinese Science Citation Database and Chinese Social Science Citation Index. The first of them, the Chinese Science Citation Database, was established in 1989 by Chinese Academy of Science. This database covers more than 1,200 top academic journals in the field of natural sciences, including engineering, mathematics, physics, chemistry, life, and earth sciences. And the most notable features of CSCD is it is offering the cross database search with the Web of Science. So it's the first ever database which non-English language, which includes non-English language journals. And therefore, this database is widely used by universities, institutes for subject search, funding support, project evaluation, declaring achievement, talent selection, and different measurements. CSCD database is updated every 2 years, and the journals must be published in either Chinese or English in China. And from 19th, the methods and series on evaluation of journals spread from the natural sciences to the social sciences, and therefore in 2000, two Chinese databases, which is similar to the social science citation index, were created. They are Chinese Social Science Citation Index and Chinese Humanities and Social Science Citation Database. And today I would like to stop on the first database. It is Chinese Social Science Index. It was developed by Nanjing University in 1997. The focus of database is on the social sciences in China, and the recent edition of SCI database contains more than 500 core source journals and more than 200 extended source journals, which is assigned among 25 disciplines. Expanded source journals after evaluation also could be qualified and transferred to the core journal. And these journals must be in Chinese. Also, these journals determined according to the 2 years journal impact factor, total times of citation, and other quantitative indicators, and also the opinion of experts from various disciplines. CSSCI serves as a standard of academic performance in China. Also, I would like to show you about CNTI. This database is the largest database, comprehensive database in China, and it contains literature published since 1915 of over 7,000 academic journals. Also includes more than 2,000 core journals, and if Chinese researcher or scholar wants to search or read a paper, usually they go to this CNTI database. Overall, Chinese scientific publication system has its own specificities and unique features. China's centralized government system implements top-down control in the field of publication, and the licensing system secures that academic aims and scope in line with the national ideology, and the competitive authorities carry out monitoring after publication, also to ensure that political correctness of the published journals, articles, and in comparison, international journals, they hasn't centralized administration, and most journals in China published in Chinese, and few of them have English translation of the abstract research articles, which means that most of current scientific development in China is not available to the non-Chinese speaking researchers. And most first-time publishers in Chinese journals, they have to follow the format structure used in the journal, in which they are submitting their articles. And government, to improve scientific publication, also developed national standards for degree thesis and scientific papers. Regarding reviewing system, China also adopted international format of reviewing, especially international peer review practice. Now it became the mainstream review format in Chinese publication, and most journals tried to modify as a 3-level review system, which was copied from Soviet Union previously, and they now began to include international expert in the second stage of the review procedure. And also integrated some anonymous review into manuscript review since 2000. However, the review process in China differs from Western model because the chief editor plays a crucial role and more powerful role than experts. And new technologies which assist editorial assessment have also developed, such as plagiarism scanning or reference cross-checking, combining automatic detection and peer recommendation into this system. And after observing Chinese publication, I come to the conclusion that the most important thing when planning to publish in Chinese journals is I highlighted some recommendations. First of all, the most high impact Chinese journals, they look for the content that is new and currently important to the society, and also appropriate to for the research focus and the scope of this journal. And that's why familiarity with the journal is very necessary. So if you plan to publish in Chinese journals, it's important to review, to get familiar with the journal, and to know its aim, scope, and article with the structure, length, and headings, tables, figures, which is exactly fits the guidelines. It will demonstrate good attention of the writer, attention to the detail, attention to the journal requirements. And second, they should focus on the title and abstract, especially because they are the two most read section of the paper, and the title should be engaging and include the main message of findings of the research, and abstract should be short summary of the whole paper, including background, methodology, findings, and conclusion. It's better to begin with what is known about a particular problem, leading to what is unknown, and important to find out, and ending with objective of the research. And most Chinese authors usually begin with a discussion with well-known knowledge, but giving little attention to how their research adds new knowledge to the existing knowledge. And according to my experience, it's good to read more papers that are similar to your own paper, and write relevant theories that will be presented. Research design should be justified, and research methodology should be explained in details. Also, it's recommended to use tables, figures to help readers to visualize findings. And of course, the language is the most important part. The article must be written in the scientific Chinese, and to ensure that the Chinese is sufficient quality to be understood by editor, reviewer, or readers. You can ask colleagues or group mates with proficient Chinese to review your article. And also, finally, discussion section must include limitation of the research. Yes, that is for things during publication in Chinese journals. If you have questions, I'm ready to answer. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, Meity, she already finished. Very wonderful. Maybe continue to Dr.
Okay. Okay, so thank you so much. Sorry, I have an error with my computer just now. Okay, so thank you so much for the speech, Dr. Nazim, for the remarkable experience and everything about your work experience or your journey experience in the journals that shares with us, especially in China. Okay, so without further ado, we welcome Dr. Ellie Sumarliah, PhD. Okay, so she becomes a speaker in the next one. So before we go further about Miss Ellie, I will spread her CV.
Sorry for interrupting. I think I want to welcome Dr. Khan to continue his speech because his speech is very, very important. I will just to be the moderator in the question and answer, and maybe just give a little tips
Okay. So we will go to Dr. Nazim. No, Dr. Nazim, sorry. Okay, Dr. Sher. Okay, to continue about your speech. So welcome, Dr. Sher. Please continue your speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for breakup for a while. So at that time, we were talking about how to publish your paper in high impact factor journal. First of all, the recognition of journals is an important issue, and we all should cope with this issue. We should recognize, we should have a updated list of recognized journals. By recognized journal, I can mean at this time that journal should be indexed by good database, means by good group. For example, Dr. Nazim, Smanova briefed it that S.Ag, SCIE, SSCI, CPTI, Chinese citation index, etc. She explained everything in a good way. So when we selected a journal, now we should think about our topic. Either on which topic I should conduct my research. We should conduct our research. Either the topic is obsolete, outdated, or less important, or the topic should be very much interesting. The topic should be as latest as possible, is hottest as possible. For example, currently the financial crisis around the globe. There is interest-free banking. This is also one of the top hot issue. Green operation, green chemistry, green physics, green finance, green HRM, etc. Means that whenever we conduct a research, we should focus, we should give some touch to our research, like sustainable development, or green, or eco-friendly, or environment-friendly. By putting such type of space in a research, we can get it published in a good journal. Similarly, there is another field which is IT touch. There should be some touch of IT, information technology related issue with research. For example, currently I am conducting a research on implication of GARAN technology, means implication of smart devices in aging population. So aging population is the biggest problem for everyone. And so a lot of research work has already been done on this issue. But when you are touching a smart devices implication with this issue, it brings a taste in your research, and it opens doors for your research to be published in multiple journals, multidisciplinary journals. For example, this paper can be published in computer-related journals. This paper can be published in business-related journals. This paper can be published in social-related journals, medical journals, engineering journals, etc. So the first thing is the problem of the journal, and then the international research collaboration is very much important at this time. For example, I have published around 20 publications, 20 papers in SCI core collection, while the rest of my papers are many and more. Maybe it can be, at this time, it can be 36 or 37, but the core collection papers are considered as important for a good researcher, for international researcher. So when we were entering into University of Science and Technology, Beijing for PhD, at that very time we were used to listen a statement from our colleagues that we should focus on the context of developed nations. Otherwise, our paper will not be published in good journals. But when we entered there, we tried, we proved it a wrong statement, because we have never ever conducted a research in developed nations. We have conducted in developing nations, and still, by the grace of Almighty Allah, our papers are published in high impact factor journals. For example, you can see my first 3 papers, which are published in a journal of corporate social responsibility and environmental management. Its impact factor is 8.4 at this time. So we focus China and Pakistan, but because of having different backgrounds, because of having a heart issue, because of having multiple good contents in the paper, none of the journal rejected our paper. Means this is just a false statement that only developed country papers are published. The researcher should be from developed countries. No, researcher can be from every segment of the world. Context can be of every country, of every environment. It doesn't matter. But particularly in order to make sure, in order to strengthen the surety of publication of a paper, we should have an international collaboration. If there is an international collaboration, one author is from one country, while other author is from the next, from the Europe, third one is from Kazakhstan, fourth one is from Saudi Arabia, it brings authenticity and validity in your research findings, in your research validity. So this is one of the key factor of strengthening the publication of your paper in good journal. Similarly, methodology. Those obsolete methodologies are no more accepted by good journals. For example, when we were using the correlation and regression, particularly I'm talking about social sciences research and management sciences research, that we were used to run the correlation and the regression, and we would develop several 15 to 20 hypotheses. There is a null hypothesis, there is alternate hypothesis, one is rejected, one is accepted, and by this way we would conclude our paper, or we would submit it to any journal. Nowadays, the journals are asking about the latest methodologies. Those methodologies, for example, this time SAM methodology is on peak in the field of management science and social sciences, structural equation modeling. You should go into the depth of the problem. You should go into the depth of the data. Where there are some problems in the data, all the problems to be eliminated before running the analysis tools. It should be valid, it should be reliable, there should be no single point of objection on your data set, there should be no single objection upon your methodology of collection of the data, on the expiry of the data, and so on. So for research methodology, we should adopt the latest methodologies, we should use the latest research tools, statistical tools for analyzing the data. For example, currently the Smart PLS, the MOS, EDENCO, and these type of research tools are. I'm sorry, my kid is disturbing. Okay, so similarly, we should be very much unbiased in conducting our research. We should never target any specific location, any specific caste, or any specific, particularly the government. We should be very much neutral and unbiased in conducting the research. And one thing which is very much important, and I face here in my university, particularly in case of my colleagues, even my colleagues are also reluctant to follow the results, sometimes we get some controversial results. For example, I have developed an hypothesis that green finance has a significant impact on farm performance. When I collected the data and I ran a statistical tools, and I found some results. If the results are not according to my hypothesis, according to the previous literature, I got angry or I got disappointed that my results are not good. Who am I to decide whether my results are good or bad? And neither there are some bad or good results in research. This research told me the truth, that in my context, there is no impact of green finance on business performance, on organizational performance. So if my results are contrary to the previous results, to the literature, if my results are contrary to the previous literature, it doesn't matter. I should find some previous literature in support of my results. Even if I can't find some previous literature, it doesn't matter. I will justify my results. I will not dictate my results. I will follow the results. Maybe I am touching some problematic issue that because I face this issue here in my university, that most of my colleagues object me on this point. Who am I to justify my result? Who am I to deny the previous findings of the results of the researchers? No. If I have collected my data means truly, and there is no manipulation in my data, and I found some sort of results, I will follow it. I will justify it. I have no authority to change my results from positive to negative, from negative to positive, from neutral to positive or negative. I will just justify, and this is the thing which is needed to practitioners. For example, there is an entrepreneur, there is a practicing manager in the field who reads my paper. If I have manipulated my results, he can be deceived by these results. He can face some losses. He follows my result. He follows my findings that there is a positive impact of green finance on financial performance of a company, and he invests a lot of money in green financing. On the other day, he founds at the end of the day, he finds that the results are contrary to my results. So means I have deceived him, I have wasted his finances, I have wasted his time, I have disturbed his strategy. So therefore, I may be very much fair and clear in interpreting my results and reporting my results. Similarly, the language matters. And one person language is sometimes not enough. Your research needs proofreading. Your research needs correction. Means all the 7 C's of communication to be there in your research. It should be clear. It should be crystal. It should be comprehensive. It should be concise. It should be correct. It should be concrete, and there should be enough cohesiveness in your research. Means when we are reporting our results, when we are reporting our research to any journal or to any book or report for publication, it should have all 7 C's of communication, that there should be no ambiguity in understanding the findings or the depth of this research. One thing which I personally prefer at the time of submission, although I have read in several books that we should use plain and simple language in writing our paper. But by using plain and simple language in my research papers, I have I have faced the rejection of my papers in several journals. For the same papers, when I use some technical and complex language, by the grace of Almighty Allah, those papers are published. For example, let me share with you the title of my can you see the screen, please? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Khan, we can see very clearly.
Please look into the title of the paper, Sustainable Social Responsibility Toward Multiple Stakeholders is a trump card for small and medium-sized enterprises performance. Means when the title of this paper was simple, that impact of sustainable social responsibility on SMEs performance, it was rejected from the same journal, interestingly. But when I use some different words like a trump card for small and medium enterprises, they preferred this title. Earlier, when it was rejected, not plain rejection, that was a major revision, and they had highlighted this point that the title is very much simple. Please revise it and then resubmit your paper to this journal. So when I revised it in this way, therefore I will request you all to use the language of your paper or the title bit complex. Although in every book of research methodology, you will see that they suggest us to use plain and simple language for language of writer. But still, this is my personal experience. Therefore, I wanna share with you. Similarly, you can read the first two lines of the abstract. Sustainable social responsibility toward multiple stakeholders is proclaimed as an obligation of firms rather than a voluntary deed. Keeping in view the stipulation of sustainability, this paper examines the influence of SSR on sustainable competitive advantage. Means the language to be bit complex, not very simple. When I was a student of master, at that very time, I was trying to write an article for a newspaper. At that very time, the newspaper editor suggested me that I should use the most complex words and language in writing a newspaper article. But at that very time, he had told me that when you are writing a book, or when you are writing a research paper, or when you are writing an academic draft, at that very time, we should use the most simplest and plain language. But unfortunately, in case of publication, I have a personal experience and I want to share it with you that in that very draft, we may use bit complex and technical wordings. Like the first sentence of the introduction can be read by you people, please. In response to heightened pressure and expectation from multiple stakeholders, firms are ordained to contribute socially, economically, and environmentally to multiple stakeholders, including customers, etc., rather than to owners alone. Means we should use some technical word, technical and some high standard English rather than simplest. Similarly, the length of the paper is problematic nowadays. The length of the paper is not very desirable and favorable for publication. The theoretical background of the paper, there is a strong evidence in this support that we should use one theory in our research. Yeah, if there is a chance when one theory cannot cover my overall research, then I can sum up 2 or 3 or 4 theories, research theories. But when we are using the chronicles of any already existing research theory, then we should define that theory in a better way. We shouldn't implement its chronicles on my research while there is no introduction of that theory, there is no background of that theory. That theory may also be explained in 2 or 3 lines, and then we may implement its implications, its chronicles on our research. Similarly, the methodology.
Hello, is it done?
One thing I want to share with you that please read the author list of this paper. Khan Chingyang, he is my respectable professor, PhD supervisor. This is also one of the authors. Sonia Kherbachi, she is from, the third one is from Pakistan. The fourth one is from Algeria, Sonia Kherbachi, she was my senior. And the fifth one is Martina Humane. She is from Austria, and she is the president of International Project Management Association. Similarly, she is the chief editor of International Journal of Project Management. So means there is a vast background of, there is a long list of authors which brings authenticity and validity in the findings of your research. Earlier, in the last 5 to 10 years, there was a concept that when you increase the number of the authors, it makes a mess, or it is not a good symbol. But nowadays, the author list can be as longer as maybe you people know that there is a paper in the field of physics which has more than 5,000 authors. If I'm not wrong, you can see it on the net that there is a paper which has more than 5,000 authors, and that was published in very high impact factor journal, in a highly reputed journal, because of the number of, because of the innovation, because of the worth of the paper. But that worth was brought in that very paper by contribution of maximum number of researchers and groups. So for references, we should use the latest and the most related and closely concreted references. We shouldn't put maximum number of references. We shouldn't cite those research which are not directly related with my findings, which has no objection on the previous relationships, or favorable comments on the previous relationships. We should be, at this time, we should not be very much free in citing the research papers of the previous researchers. We should be connected, we should be concerned with our main issue. Who has touched my issue, I will discuss only those. In almost all my publications, I have used Smart PLS, MOS, Edenco, FPSS latest versions, and now when I will move toward using the information technology, smart devices into current technology, for that I have planned to use R, and I have a plan to use the design structure matrix, etc., MATLAB, etc. At the end, I would like to share with you my Web of Science CV that although I have only 19 core collection publications, my overall number of publication is 36 or 37, but the core collection publications are 19, and my articles are published in these few journals. For example, my 3 of the articles are published in Corporate Social Responsibility and Environmental Management. 2 are in WINE, Journal of Information and Knowledge Management, Review of International Business and Strategy, and so on. Similarly, I have been reviewing the papers for multiple good journals, which contains the Sustainability, Sage Open, Journal of Cleaner Production, Research Journal of Textile and Apparels, Current Issues in Tourism, International Journal of Financial Studies, Environmental Science and Pollution Research, Measuring Business Excellence, Journal of Finance and Data Sciences, etc. So I would like to offer my services to all of you for research collaboration, as well as for any sort of help if I can extend. And now please, you may ask some questions relating to the international research collaboration and publications, please.
Okay, Meity, please.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Sher, for your wonderful speech that motivates us to publish papers in international journals. So now we will go to the questions and answer. It's time for us for having a questions and answers. If you have any questions related to the topic, guys, please don't hesitate to ask. And I will welcome Dr. Ellie Sumarliah, lecturer of UNISA, to be the moderator of this Q&A session. So, but before, let me read her brief CV, okay? So, Dr. Ellie Sumarliah got some degrees in SP, MA, and the last one is in PhD. She also called as Ellie Molly or Malati, and her Chinese name is Melly, and she has also got a PhD in the University of Science and Technology in Beijing, China. And before he got the PhD, he got the master degrees in the Shanghai Maritime Universities and got a scholarship. So for the two scholarship, first one is a Chinese government scholarship for master degrees, class A, for 4.5 years. And then the second one, she got the Chinese government scholarship for doctoral degree class A for 3 years. And she also has made 21 Scopus papers, 10 papers as a first author of Q1, Q2, and Q3, and 11 papers as a co-author. And now she will become a moderator of us. So before we go for the time questions and answers, Dr. Mali becomes an employment for lecturer and researcher and full-time is in Al-Ihya Islamic University of Kuningan, Indonesia. She also becomes a senior process executive, teacher and lecturer in this university. So please welcome Mrs. Ellie, Dr. Ellie Sumarliah. Okay, thank you. Please have a time.
Thank you, Meity.
Yeah.
And thank you all teachers and students who attend here. And my thank you especially for the wonderful speakers, our guest speakers from Pakistan, Dr. Sher, Zaman and the beautiful doctor from Kazakhstan, Dr. Nazim. Okay, I think because two speakers have mentioned very, very useful tips about how to make research collaboration and then how to publish in international journals. So I think I don't need to give another tips, but maybe this one, because I know that some teachers here, they are focusing on like Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 journals. So I think you should not too focus on it, because sometimes the Q1 journal is less difficult than, for example, Q3 journals, because my experience is maybe last year, I sent my paper to two journals. First is Q1 and the second is Q3. But in Q1, I get a very good reviewer, with a very few questions. So I can make the revision very easily and then get published in this Q1 journal. But in another journal, which is Q3, I was rejected. I think because I give the reviewers, like the recommendation of reviewers from Pakistan. Maybe I think the scientists from Pakistan are very critical. So I don't want to recommend reviewer from Pakistan like Dr. Khan. He's very critical. So, okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Nazim and Dr. Khan. This is the only tips that I can share to students and teachers here. So, everyone, if you have any questions, please, this is a very rare chance for us to meet such great researchers from abroad. So imagine, if we want to invite a wonderful speaker from another country, how much effort we should make, but here, alhamdulillah, Allah has given us very good facilities and very easy, because they want to share for us here. Here we are in the university, in a private university, in not a big city in Indonesia, just small city in Indonesia named Kuningan. Maybe we also cannot see the Kuningan in the map, in the map of Indonesia, because it is too small. But because of Allah give us a blessing, barakah, so these wonderful speakers, they want to share, Allah direct their hearts, touch their hearts, to give us useful tips, to be the more international. Because I know some teachers here in this university have published in national journals, but maybe not many has published in international journals. So this is a very good chance, and I would like to thank you, the LPPM, the institution of research in this university, for initiating this program. Okay, please, students, maybe the first one, Zaharana, Miss Zaharana, you said you want to ask a question. Please ask. Yes.
Okay.
Show us your video. Okay.
Yes, I have done. Thank you for the opportunity, Mrs. Ellie Sumarliah. Let me introduce myself. My name is, my real name is Ratnadi Fatimah Zahara. I am the student of Pasca Sarjana University of UNISA, and then especially in PAI, or Education Islamic Studies. And then I am the fifth, what's the name? The last, the fifth grade. So I have to be thankful right now, because I can speak with the grade or the master of education right now. So something that I want to ask about journal. As we know that as a Indonesian, as Indonesian people, we are not native speakers. And then even for writing an article in English, sometimes we don't have unconfident. We are not confident to write even the short articles in English. So what is the first step to write a journal? What kind of step that we have to do to be confident to write a journal? Because maybe we have some issues, like we don't have any experiences before, and then maybe we are not international students, so we always use bahasa as daily conversations. So yeah, how to raise our confidence to write, especially journals, international journals. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Khan and Dr. Nazim, do you understand the questions? Yeah, already clear. Yeah, what is the first step to write an English article? Yeah, okay, English paper. Yeah, this Dr. Khan, the first. Okay.
Yeah, Zahrana Fatma, your question is very good. That being a student, how can we start the write-up of a paper for a journal? Let me share with you the experience of my roommate. He was Dr. Abdul Wahid. Sumarliah knows him better. When we entered into University of Science and Technology, Beijing in 2015 for PhD, he started the write-up of papers, and he published several papers in Indian journals. And now I know that all those journals were predatory journals, fake journals, means there is no indexing of those journals. But he learned how to write a paper for a weakest journal, for a most poor journal, easy journal. And at that very time, interestingly, the fee of publication was $30, $25, and he was used to write a paper, and then he would collect money from me, from Dr. Ishfaq, and from Dr. Shahid. The $30 was used to be distributed among four, means sponsored by four of the authors, $5 everyone. But he learned how to write a paper. Means the paper were of low quality, the paper were having many errors, mistakes, or blunders even. But still he tried to write a letter, tried to learn the write-up of a paper, and Sister Sumarliah knows better that he has published more than 100 papers at this time, and his papers are published in even the Journal of Business Research, Journal of Business Ethics, and the top level journals in the field of business and management. But he did this job by trial and error. He just took a paper, already published paper. He saw, draw a sketch of the paper, that there is a title, there is an abstract, there is an introduction, there is literature review part, there is research methodology part, research analysis, conclusion, and references. And he put a mess in those sections. Rough work in those sections means he tried to write a paper on entrepreneurial orientation and entrepreneurial orientation and firm performance. So he copied some text from one paper, from another paper, and he put it here. When the parts of the paper were filled, after that he gave it to me that please, Khan, correct its English. The English was already okay because he had copied the text from different papers, published papers, good papers. But still, I changed some of the paragraph or sentences from one place to another, and some ones were removed. We all were new. But the writing of the reading of the papers and the writing of a low-level paper made us able that now we can write a paper for good journals. So therefore, I will suggest you that please read at least 10 papers and try to read the papers from weak journals, not from very high-level journals. For example, if you will read a journal of a high-level journal. If you will read a paper from a very high-level journal, maybe its English will be a bit complicated. As I mentioned in my previous session, that we may use some complicated and technical language and sentences, or the structure of the sentences should not be very simple. Therefore, if you want to learn how to write a paper, then you may read as many papers from Indonesian journals as possible. First, you will take a start from Indonesian journals, local journals in local language, and then you will be able to write a paper, you will be able to conduct a real research, you will be able to conduct, to analyze the data by yourself. At the earlier level, you will not be in a position to perform all the functions by yourself. You will need help in editing of the paper by your senior, by your English department student. You will be in a need to get help from statistician for analyzing the data. You will be in a need to get help for structuring the questionnaire, for finalizing the methodology of the paper. By having a group of minds, you will be able to write a first paper. By doing the trial and error practice, inshallah, you will be in a good position to write papers for good journals. And Nazim can also share her experience.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your question. I agree that writing skill comes only with the practice. It needs some time, and language barrier was the most problem maybe during my PhD studies because it's not Chinese is not my native language, English as well. And the first thing that I do, as Dr. Sher Zaman said, I read many papers that was published in high-impact journals. In my case, in Chinese, I read lots of papers in the field of education, in the field of my major. And after spending a lot of time on reading only, I started to do my research, my own research, and unfortunately, we don't have academic writing course at the university. Many universities, I think, also doesn't offer this course, but it is possible to develop these skills. So with this is a technique, writing technique, so it can be trained, it can be developed, and you can see many examples. Even people who start from zero, even after entering to this program, I don't know about the existing of Chinese indexes, so. And I cannot believe that after 3-4 years, I also published a paper in Chinese as my professor did, as other Chinese scholars did. And see, it's possible, but only needs some attention on giving some time to the research, to exploring, to reading, and then I think you can succeed. I'm confident that you can succeed after practice.
Okay, yeah, Zaharana, have you understood? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the answers.
First you should read many papers. Yeah, Dr. Sher said at least 10 papers in English, or in Indonesia is also okay. Then you can translate it into English. We can learn so much from Dr. Nazim. Yeah, she is from Kazakhstan and her language is Kazakh language. Yeah, and then Russian. Yeah. But she should write the paper in Chinese. Imagine, yeah. I cannot imagine. So, Dr. Nazim, can I have a question for you? How many words? Yeah, you should write a paper published in Chinese journal because Chinese word is different from English. Yeah.
I think word count will be smaller because. They use hieroglyphs as one, even as one word. That's why they count not by word, by let me more than 5,000 hieroglyphs, as I remember.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah. In English, yeah, 5,000. Yeah, in English is around 8,000 and 10,000. Yeah, or 12,000. Yeah, Dr. Khan. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but I wonder why. Sorry, because there is no question. I wonder why. Is it the journal in which is written in Chinese international journal? Because in USTB we should publish in international journal, right?
yes, because my study program was in Chinese. My thesis was also in Chinese, and the professor had experience on publishing in Chinese journals, and his recommendation also, I needed his recommendation, especially in publication in Chinese journals, but unfortunately, my field is social sciences. It differs from natural sciences because the language is more important in social sciences because you have to do maybe review, article, report, this kind of, but unfortunately we cannot do, we cannot explore new type of product like in natural science, but we used to do some quantitative, qualitative analysis, and the interpretation of these results is the most important part. In this case, my professor's experience and his knowledge of language helped me. That's why I decided to publish in Chinese journals, because nowadays I'm trying to publish in English. Yes, I submitted one article to the journal, which is indexed by Scopus, that index, and in this case, I have any mentors, any just
okay. For your publication in English, you can collaborate with Dr. Khan, because Dr. Khan has published many more than 20 English. Yeah, all in English. Yeah, not in Pakistani language. Yeah.
His speech was very useful for me, especially. Thank you for your presentation.
Yeah, okay, that's amazing. Oh my God, very amazing. Okay, students and teacher, please ask question. Another question, please. Okay, let me point. Yeah, Henry, please ask question. Are you there?
Iya, Bu. Izin bertanya, Bu. Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Mrs. Ellie is still muted. The
Okay.
Zoom.
Okay, Henry, please ask question and show us your video, because I think two guest speakers want to see you, yeah, to see Indonesian face. Okay, Henry, can you hear me?
Iya, Bu.
Yeah, okay.
Izin bertanya, Bu. Ini
Videonya, Henry, videonya dibuka dulu.
Ini videonya, ini Bu. Apa sih nggak bisa ini, Bu? Lagi rusak mungkin.
Okay, error. Okay. Please ask question.
Mungkin ini sedikit mungkin para speaker mungkin bisa berbagi pengalaman, Bu, ya.
Can you speak in English? Can you speak in English?
Oke. Ini, Bu, saya pengen bertanya, mungkin ketika kita membuat sebuah jurnal, bagi para speaker mungkin itu mungkin pernah menemui berbagai kendala, Ibu, ya, untuk untuk ketika membuat sebuah jurnal internasional, Bu. Nah,
sebuah artikel yang
ya, sebuah artikel
dipublish.
mungkin ya. Ya. Kendala apa sih yang sering ditemukan ketika ketika speaker kita membuat sebuah artikel, dan bagaimana cara mengatasi kendala tersebut, Bu? Terima kasih, Bu.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Dr. Khan and Dr. Nazim, he asked a question because he is still a student, yeah, bachelor students. He wants to make a paper, yeah, and I motivate my students to also try writing research in a journal article. I mean, try to publish in the journal, yeah. So he asked the question, what are the challenges, the most important challenges that you faced, both of you faced, when first writing and publishing the article in international journal? Okay, Dr. Khan, please.
The major challenges which I, first of all, let me thank Andrew for his question, because he is a student and we always motivate our students to ask many questions for clarifying their minds about all things which are happening. So out of the many challenges, the first challenge was I was even unable to read some of the statistical symbols. And whenever I used to read, I was going to start the reading of a paper. And when I would reach at the part of the methodology and analysis, and I would see the symbols of the correlation, the regression, the alpha, beta, and so on, then I would stop the reading of a paper, because I was unable to understand these things. I am sharing this experience with you people because I want to give you a courage that if I can learn, I have learned, you can very easily learn all these things. And the biggest challenge was that I was having no teacher who was showing his consent to teach me all these things. You are the luckiest people to have teachers like Sumarliah, like your Nurul Iman, the Rector, Dr. Nurul Iman, who is facilitating this type of events for you people. And Sumarliah, whenever I read the publications of Sumarliah, sometimes in the rough form, the manuscript which are going to be submitted to journals, or sometimes these papers have received some revisions, minor or major, I can find very few mistakes or flaws in the papers, because her write-up is, mashallah, much and more better than mine, than my other colleagues. But still, this is a teamwork, and we have published giantly some of the publications in good journals. So the challenge is, the first challenge is to understand the problem, to understand your problem, that what are the problems I'm being facing in understanding the research paper or writing the paper. And in solving these issues, you have good teachers. You may just be connected with your teacher. You may always ask much and more questions, even the simplest and the hardest questions from your teachers. And when if you are unable to get the responses to your questions, your queries, you can contact other departments, or you can ask your teacher to contact other departments' teachers or other country teachers for solving your problem. And from here, you will, inshallah, take the start of write-up of your papers. So there is no big challenge, or there is no unsolvable challenge in this way. This way is very plain and very easy. It always leads toward the success. No stoppage is there.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Khan. Henry, do you understand or not? Udah ngerti ya? Jadi
Ya,
katanya
Bu.
Ya, setiap tidak ada tantangan yang tidak bisa diatasi ya.
Karena saya masih beruntung punya Ibu Eli, Bu ya.
Okay, Dr. Nazim, do you have a tips? Do you have something to share about your challenges that you face when you first writing the article?
As I said, my first challenge was language, and the first time of writing, I tried to paraphrase existing text, just copy and paraphrase, and then start to write by my own. And the second challenge was working with big data, because I conducted a survey, and then I don't know how to deal with this data. And even nowadays we have many statistical tools, programs, which easily can easily give the outcomes of all this data. But the most important thing that you have to understand what this data mean. Unfortunately, I don't have, at that time, I don't have statistical knowledge. I don't understand also equations, how this data came out. And if you have such courses, I recommend you to take statistical courses, because it will be useful not only in natural subject areas, but also in social sciences, to just for yourself to understand how counted, how this result was counted from the statistical tools, programs. And then I think you will know you will know better about methodology, about results. This is my recommendation.
Okay, Hendy, do you understand? Yes, you say,
Bu.
yeah. The first challenge is language, yeah, and the second is data analysis, yeah. But don't worry, because now you have many statistical analytical tools, ya. Jadi nggak usah khawatir, karena masalah data ada banyak jasa untuk analisis data statistik, ya. Oke, ya.
Berarti big data itu paling penting, Bu ya. Tadi kan apa sih dikatakan big data, Bu ya?
Enggak, no, it's not about big data. It's about data analysis, ya. Big data is like maybe it's like artificial intelligence, something like that, ya. But this one is about how to analyze data, how to get data and analyze data. Jadi cara nyari data, kemudian menganalisisnya. But also, yeah, my experience, yeah, the most difficult problem in writing a paper is how to get data is okay, because we can make a questionnaire. But to analyze data, that's why I ask the help from Dr. Khan and Dr. Many, ya, in Pakistan the name is Dr. Khan, ya, like Dr. Sher Zaman Khan, Safirullah Khan, ya. Dr. Safir always help me in analyzing data. So don't worry, we can collaborate with other researcher who has expert in analyzing data, ya. Okay, thank you, Dr. Nazim and Dr. for your tips. Okay, is there any question? Oh, Pak Angga, silakan. Okay, Mr. Angga is a lecturer, yeah, in this university. He is the head of the Department of English, yeah. So, and also, you already published, yeah, papers, yeah, Mr. Angga? Okay. Sorry, I cannot hear you. Can you increase your volume?
Okay, Bu Eli, everyone
Yes.
can.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, please go on.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Greeting Dr. Khan and also Dr. Nazim. It's such a great pleasure for us actually to have you as the presenters in this wonderful seminar. I actually have one question for both of the presenters. If once we get our paper refused or rejected by some high impact international journal, which one is the most effective? Do we have to wait or to put ourselves up just to revise the article and try to resubmit the article to the same journal, or we just need to seek for another challenge with similar reputations? Thank you so much.
Okay, Dr. Khan and Dr. Nazim, please, and Dr. Khan first. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Anga and Mansoor.
Sure.
If I understand your question is that if a paper is rejected by a journal, either we should resubmit it to the same journal or to any other journal. Do you mean the same? Yeah, okay. So yeah, of course, if a paper is rejected by a journal by putting some comments, like they have highlighted some of the drawbacks of your paper, that because of these and these issues, we reject your paper. Yeah, we are unable to publish your paper, or we are unable to process your paper. So, but if the journal has put no comments, like in the first read or in the first look, the editor has rejected your paper by putting no comments, then it is better to submit the same paper to any other journal. And once again, when you will receive some comments on the paper, maybe minor, major comments doesn't matter. Rejection doesn't matter. Sometimes rejection makes your paper much and more better for another submission. For example, on my first paper, when it was rejected after 6 months, but luckily 3 reviewers had put many comments on my paper. Similarly, one editor has also added his own comments on my paper. When I received those comments, I saved the file, and till today, whenever I am writing a paper, I follow their comments. Although my paper was rejected, but they gave me a very good lesson for my further publication, for my further experience. Therefore, let it be seen if the paper is rejected because of some solid reasons, and you know that I can justify, I incorporate all these things in my revised draft, then you can submit it to the same journal. And if the paper is rejected by having no comments, means sometimes they don't like your topic, they don't your publication area doesn't match with the domain of that journal, then you can select any other journal. And for doing this, one thing to be clear, that there are thousands of journals, and these journals need our paper. They need our papers, we need their service. So if one journal is not accepting my paper, this is not the end of the story. We can submit the same paper to another journal. Sometimes, once we had done like this, that we submitted a paper to a journal, it rejected it after only 3 or 4 days. We changed its topic, we revised its abstract and only few lines of introduction, and we resubmitted the same paper to the same journal. And luckily, that paper was processed. When it was gone into process, I always claim that when my paper is gone for review, I hope my paper will never be rejected. But if the editor rejects it in the first attempt, in the first look, then there is no guarantee of service, or there is no authenticity of its further processes. So that's good that if your paper is rejected because of some justifiable reasons, you may re-justify it and submit it to the same journal. Otherwise, majority of the journal recommend you some other journals. That this paper is not good for this paper journal, but at the same time, we recommend you these and these journals. You can submit your paper to these journals and hopefully it will get good score. So this is my personal experience and suggestion for you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khan. Such a wonderful experience it is.
Most welcome and my pleasure.
Okay, Mr. Angga, have you been satisfied with his answer?
Absolutely, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to try to, the same strategy as well then. Later on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, another questions? Okay, one student asked question here. Faisal Kurniawan. Maybe this is maybe related to Dr. Khan, yeah? Okay. What is the important aspect that an entrepreneur should do to get the success, and what is the tips, the tips for making a good entrepreneurship research? Okay, maybe you can answer the last questions, okay.
Entrepreneurship is my hobby, is my lifestyle, and I try my best to make toward entrepreneurship rather than only to stick with government jobs, because you know very well, majority of you people know very well about the condition of Pakistan, that there are some instabilities, political instability, financial crisis, administrative crisis, and so on. And whenever till my schooling age, I every time listen from every political party that if and when we will enter into government, we will give millions of jobs to unemployed people. And the same is usually happened that whenever government a party comes into government, they usually opens the door of government organizations and they hire useless number of means a considerable number of they become dependent on the government revenues, on the government salaries, and Pakistan is going down and down. Why not we may promise with the people, with the inhabitants of the country, that we will give you jobs, we will give you self-jobs, we will train you, and we will provide you facilities, we will facilitate you in all aspects. For example, even the seed money can be offered to the unemployed people. We can train them for starting a business. We can facilitate them in registration of their business. We can lend them loans, or we can establish national and international markets for these people. And by this, we can employ much and more number of unemployed people on the job. For example, there is a Chinese proverb that if you give a man a fish, you fed him for a day. But if you teach a man how to fish, you fed him for a lifetime. Did you understand? If you give a man a fish, you fed him for a day. But if you teach a man how to fish, how to catch the fish, you fed him for a lifetime. So entrepreneurship is just totally based upon this Chinese proverb that we may give jobs to each and every person, but not a government job, not a private job. We may facilitate them to start his own business or to make drastic changes in his own existing business. And by this way, soon or later, he will be a job giver rather than job seeker. So I'm providing training to my students here in my university. Similarly, I usually organize these seminars and conferences on these things, that please be job givers rather than job seekers. And entrepreneurship research is the need of the day at this time, because from everywhere we listen. For example, from everywhere we listen the women empowerment. Please empower the women. They may be allowed to do what they want to do, and please allow them to go out of the homes. Please allow them to enter into offices, into stores, etc. Why not we may empower the women by providing them halal job, halal rozgar, halal business. They may be entrepreneurs. They may establish their own companies. They may be provided some seed money. They may be facilitated in initiating their own companies. They will be able to provide jobs to other female co-workers, to family members. They will also become earning contributor, earning member of the families of the country. And by this way, we can lead our countries toward prosperity and economic development, inshallah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry, one thing, please. Currently, the major fields to be student entrepreneurship, female entrepreneurship, transgender entrepreneurships, refugees entrepreneurships, and so on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khan. Yeah. Okay. Now is another question. I think it is related to Dr. Nazim, yeah, because from Hestiawati, her name is Hestiawati. She is the student of teacher education, yeah, because yeah, your field is education. She asked, what is the step, yeah, what is the step to prepare research collaboration in education field, yeah? Okay.
Research, international, do you mean international research collaboration? Okay, I have only experience writing with my professor. I think if you are currently a student, it's difficult to start publishing by your own. We need someone who are more experienced, and this will be your professor or senior. And the at first time, collaboration is important, I think. Teacher education, it's a very interesting area of education, education study, education administration. It can be comparative study, comparative analysis. For example, revising another best international experience. In my case, I try to compare Eastern model with our national context, and as Sher Zaman also said, that research topic can be focused on any subject areas, any but not only not only related on your country, but also try to explore experience of another countries. And in this case, teacher education is very interesting topic to in terms of investigating another country's experience, and you can search similar articles relating this topic written by international researchers, experts. I think it will give you more insights to develop your own research topic.
Oke, thank you Dr. Nazim. Oke, Hesti sudah mengerti ya. Jadi I'm speaking Indonesian because she asked in Indonesian language. Jadi harus sering-sering membaca dan berinteraksi dengan para peneliti dari luar ya, dari luar yang punya similarity ya researchnya, topik-topik dari penelitiannya punya kesamaan dengan topik kita. Oke, thank you Dr. Nazim. Okay, any other question, please? Okay, yeah, Hestiawati already understand. Okay, is there any question? We still have maybe around 40 minutes, yeah, 40 minutes. Okay, please ask question. Okay, if no more questions, then I want to ask one last questions, yeah, for both speakers. For Dr. Nazim, yeah, Dr. Nazim, because your research area is education, yeah, education management. So, what are top three yeah, of topics which are trendy now in your field?
Okay, as I'm working on education sector, government sector, I can see, and there are many reforms being conducted nowadays in my country, and I can say that in my country, the most robust and the most novel topics is, of course, assessment, quality assessment. Now we are developing the conceptual framework of the meaning of the quality, educational quality, what should be high quality education system and how it can be assessed. So the topic of assessment is very close to me now, because we're conducting large-scale assessment in our country. It's international assessment. That's why we can see not only our children's achievement, but in comparison with the other countries' school children's achievement. So I think assessment will be very vital topic in this nearest future. The second is because there was a problem of teacher shortage of teachers and other infrastructural things and problems, challenges in schools. That's why nowadays also teacher professional development, teacher education, teacher status, these topics also paid with great attention. And the third is early childhood education. As we know that the knowledge forms in the early ages. That's why every country must put attention first of all on early stage of education. It will guarantee the good high achievement and success in the further stages of education in the future life, whole life. That's why I can emphasize these three sections. It is assessment, teacher education, and early childhood education.
Thank you so much for sharing about the top 3 topics in education, because many teachers here are in the field of education. Yeah. Okay. Before I ask to Dr. Khan, I want to greet Pak Dudi. Pak Dudi bisa mendengar saya? Pak Dudi, biasa di apa? Itunya apa? Mikrofonnya di ini apa? Mikrofonnya dinyalain. Oke.
Nyalain, ya di.
Ya. He is a teacher ya, a lecturer in this university. Pak Dudi, ada pertanyaan nggak Pak? Silakan. Do you have any question?
Saya paling itu aja untuk memberikan motivasi seperti saya kadang-kadang kemarin hampir prasidang ya. Bagaimana menumbuhkan semangat gitu untuk meneliti atau membangun kembali gairah untuk meneliti atau sidang gitu. Terima kasih.
Okay, he asked a questions ya. Maybe Dr. Khan can answer it. How to increase the motivation or the mood for writing the papers, and also for example for preparing for the defense because maybe he is a student, doctoral degree student. Okay, how to increase the motivation?
Can I please understand your words? What should I respond, please?
Okay. He asked,
your question, please.
Mr. Dudi asked a question: how to increase the motivation or the mood, the enthusiasm for writing a paper and preparing for the defense, doctoral defense.
Actually, I don't know what's the criteria for appointment and promotion in your country, but in my country, simple degree is not very much liked in universities, colleges, and other institutions. In most of the, particularly in educational institutions, degree with some sort of publication is usually preferred. Okay. If a person or if a graduate has publication during his studies or after his graduation, then he is more likely for job. But still, if a teacher is writing a paper or he's getting it published in a good journal, it may please be celebrated in a department that Mr. ABC has published a paper in this journal, and this is a big achievement for our school, for our university, or for our department. And this is means he has made a place in that very journal that is international. Maybe it belongs to US, it belongs to UK or any country else. But this is a good journal, and he has published his paper, and now this paper will be read, will be read and will be followed in many countries. By this way, the popularity of this professor, this university, and Indonesia will be strengthened or will be spread out in the world. Similarly, in order to motivate your students, a teacher may please spare some time and to sit with these students, that please come and let's contribute or let's participate in writing of a paper, that how a paper is written, how introduction part is written, how a research topic is selected, and why we will select a problem, or select a topic for our research. What's the rationale or what's the need behind this specific topic, specific research on this specific topic. Similarly, when results are ready for interpretation, this may also be shared with the students in class and out of class in research lab, that you know that we started this journey from this, and now we are at this stage, means we have collected the data, and when we analyzed it, we reached at a point that the people of this area have a perception about Islamic banking, interest-free banking. So why not we may suggest our government, we may suggest bank authorities to open some interest-free counters in their banks, or they may totally convert their traditional or conventional banking into Islamic banking. Means we will bring some practical examples in front of the students and we will practically sit with them. We will make them able by writing the ABC of research, that this is the start and this is the mid, this is the end, and this is the award of the research. So by this way, we can motivate our students. Similarly, we may declare some small prizes for the good writers. If they can write a simple paragraph, we may appreciate him. We may call his name in the class, that Mr. Flan, Mr. This one, Mr. A, B, or Z. He has written this paragraph, and I am highly impressed by his write-up. This is his first draft, and I encourage him for doing the same. I wish the same from all the class. By this way, they can start their write-up of publications.
Oke, thank you Dr. Khan. Pak Dudi, jantan gitu ya, jantan katanya kalau in his country ya, in his university, there is ada budaya ya. Jadi kalau misalnya satu peneliti sudah menerbitkan, itu langsung dirayakan di departemennya ya. There is a celebration in his department whenever a teacher publish in international journal. Mungkin kita juga bisa melakukan hal yang sama di UNISA ya. We can do the same in this university. Thank you, Dr. Khan. Okay. Another question, please, Zaharana. This is the last one, yeah, the last questions, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Ellie. Something that I want to ask to both speakers today, that as you said that our journal should be authentic. So something that I want to ask, how to make sure that our journal is authentic? I mean, maybe there are so many journals outside there that published before and the topic are same with us. So how to make sure that our journal is authentic? And then maybe if there are so many topics or so many same topics outside there, maybe the results are different, right? And then for sure we need to maybe collaborate with anyone, or maybe we can make sure with our department in our university maybe, but how to make sure that, yeah, our journal is authentic, maybe that is the point. Thank you.
Maybe not our journal, but our paper, yeah, that to be published in the journal. How to make sure it is authentic or original, yeah. I think Dr. Khan and Dr. Nazim, you can, both of you can answer, okay, please.
Yeah, it's very easy to get to know either the journal is authentic or it's a predatory or clone or fake journal. As I earlier talked about this, that if you are a good researcher and you want to submit a good paper in well-indexed journal, then there is no issue, because you will simply open the Web of Science, and there you will check the journal. You will find everything about a journal, either it's okay or not. If you can find its name and background and every detail in that link, it's okay. Otherwise, you will not submit your paper to that journal. But if you are a fresh writer, or you are this is your first publication, then once again, I am going to repeat my words, that you may get support of your teacher. He or she will tell you that this is the local journal, this is the local authentic journal. You can submit your paper to this journal. Because I don't know that how well the Indonesian government has specified, or explained the list of the authentic journals. But in my country, there is a website, I will share with you in the chat, that hjrs.hec.gov.pk. Means if I want to check the authenticity of any journal, either it's national or international. I will put its name in the cell in the search box. It will give me the full detail of that very journal. That there are four categories in Pakistan: W, X, Y, and Z. Z is the lowest category of a journal, and these papers are not acceptable for promotion or appointment. And Y is the second category, which is acceptable for promotion and appointment in social sciences field. While X and W, X journals are almost all those journals which are indexed in ESCI, Emerging Source Citation Index. Means all those journals which are indexed in Scopus and Web of Science master list, these are called as X category journals. And the top quality journals, W journals, W category. These are those journals which are listed in the JCR, Journal Citation Report, means the core collection of Web of Science. SCI, SSCI, SCIE. These journals are categorized as W. So if you want to check the authenticity and validity of a journal, you can check the list of the Ministry of Education. I think your country Ministry of Education will have already issued a list of authentic local journals. And for international journals, you can check it in the Scopus or you can check it in the Web of Science Clarivate Analytics. So this is the simple way that you can submit your paper. But still, I wanna suggest you that please you may be in a good touch with your teachers for selecting a journal until and unless you reach at a point that you can understand the good and bad journals by yourself. Till that of the time, you may be in a contact with your teachers, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Khan. Dr. Nazim, do you have, yeah?
Okay, so thank you, all the speakers.
Meity, please wait a moment. Dr. Nazim will give one last answer.
Okay.
I would also recommend to search on the official websites of journals or database that made available to search by keywords, by issues, by journal names, or even the whole title. Yeah, only trust on the official websites. If you are afraid that there is similar paper or exactly the same paper as yours, you can also search by keywords on the big database, because database include the how to transfer all information from all journals, and after going by link into that journal, we can find the whole information, including their indexing, all information about the journal. That's why my suggestion is to search only on the official websites, database, or journals.
Okay. Is there any informations that we want to share for this all? Okay, so thank
I
you.
think it's okay, yeah.
Okay. Thank you all the speakers and audience for making this webinar an unforgettable and useful event to grow. So I make an apologize if I made the mistakes before or now if I have some things mispronounced of my words. And here I close the event by saying Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for the gut and for all the audience. See you in the upcoming international webinar. If you have further questions, you can contact Miss Molly or Miss Ellie Sumarliah, or contact Pak Iman as a rector also. Okay, so that's all. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Nazim, Dr. Khan.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Nazim and Dr.
Thank you,
Khan.
Meity. Terima kasih
Okay,
Pak
thank
Didi,
you,
Pak
Miss
Angga,
Ali, for the
semuanya.
opportunity.
Ya.
Thank you all the
One
audience
love,
for
thanks to all of you.
and answers.
Wish you all the best.
Okay.